Now, First Alert 6 weather.
Good morning, everybody. Hopefully you are having a great start to your Wednesday. Meteorologist Jaret Lansford here, and as we make our way through our day today, we've got even more warmth for us. We'll be climbing up into the 50s, and there's more where that came from. We're going to talk through just how much we'll be climbing as we go through the rest of the week. Into the weekend, I've got that Valentine's Day forecast for you. If you have plans, what you need to know, because we do have a couple of chances for some precip in the forecast too, and I'll let you know when those come through, as well as some more record high potential in the 10-day. Let's go ahead and look at what we've got. And I'm actually going to start here by looking at our precip comparison for the year so far. And you can see it's a little bit below average, but when you're looking at these numbers, keep in mind that we had one day in January where we had about 0.8 of an inch of rainfall, and that is doing a lot of the heavy lifting for what you're seeing right there. If we didn't have that one day, we would be way below average. It's been very dry. So we could use some precip. Let's take a look at where we could find some. Obviously not right now. A lot of sunshine. We've got a few high clouds that are drifting through. 34 degrees, and the wind very light. That's one difference that we have today versus some of the days we've had recently, is that wind stays pretty calm. And we'll continue to warm things up, end up into the low 50s. I think about 52 is where we'll land for a high, mostly sunny through the day. Just a few clouds that arrive as we get later in the day. That is going to be something you notice as we go into the evening. We'll continue to increase that cloud cover. And it's once we get to tonight where we get a chance for at least a little bit of some precip. As we continue to walk through the overnight hours, you notice some of that showing up off to the north of the metro. That's where we could maybe get some sprinkles, a few flakes, nothing that is going to be too big of a deal. Any of the flakes that do fall will be melting when they hit the warm ground. And you can see the temperatures even then are a little bit above freezing. So this is not that big a deal. And you can see even by the time we get into the early morning hours, we're already starting to wrap this up. And we'll be looking at things starting to even clear out as we make our way toward the middle of the day and into the afternoon. So not a lot of moisture with that one. Just a few flakes, few sprinkles to light showers north of the metro. And that's the extent of that. And then as we make our way beyond that for the rest of the day tomorrow, continuing to decrease the cloud cover, temperatures will surge back up, and we'll end up into the mid-50s, about 56 for our high. You're going to notice this is kind of the pattern as we go through the next several days, as we'll add about 3 or so degrees to the high temperature every day. Here's what the weekend looks like, right near 60 for Friday, into the low 60s for Saturday, and into the mid-60s for Sunday. Average high is 37 to 38 for this time frame, so we are way above that through this entire time frame. One thing to point out here, as we look toward the weekend, we have had to put the 20% back in for Saturday, and that's mainly south of the metro. As we get into the afternoon, maybe the early evening, could have a couple sprinkles to light showers in that direction. So don't be caught off guard by that. It's mainly south of the metro, but something to watch if you do have plans for Valentine's Day. Probably not even enough that you would need an umbrella for that, but keep an eye on it if you do have plans. Here's what that looks like. And as we make our way through into our Saturday, you notice this storm system that continues to track to our south. A lot of the heaviest rain ends up in Oklahoma, into southern Missouri, and Kansas, but we have just enough of it that tries to scrape some of our counties. That's that little bit of some green that you see starting to try to push its way in. I could zoom in a little bit more on this. So there you can see it a little bit better. Just a few sprinkles to light showers that try to make their way near I-80. They'll be moving kind of southeast as we get into the evening. Not a lot there, but something just to be aware of if you're going to be out and about for Saturday. Winds stay light. Evening temperatures looking like they're around 50 degrees. So overall, not a bad forecast for Valentine's Day if you have plans in the evening. Once we get past the weekend, by the way, sunny and mid-60s for Sunday looks really nice. Take advantage of that. Even warmer still for Monday, and we're right back into record high conversation. 67 is the record for Monday. That is not a very old record. That from 2017. But right now, forecasting that we tie that at this point, and there is a chance that we get even a little bit warmer than what you see here as we build in more of a southwest wind. We could get some gusts up around 30 miles per hour, perhaps even a little bit stronger still by the time we get to Tuesday. And that's still dry weather that we're talking about. So this graphic that you're looking at gives some more context to how dry it has been, where you're seeing the percentage of normal precip over the last 60 days. And you could see that it's not nearly where it should be. The oranges match up with about 25 to 50% of how much moisture we should have. That takes up most of the area. North and west of the metro, you get some reds indicating about 5 to 25% of our normal moisture. It's been very dry. And if you were paying attention through what I was walking through, you heard that we just don't have all that much for chances, even in the 10-day forecast. Those couple sprinkles north of the metro tonight. Saturday, maybe a few sprinkles to light showers, mainly south of the metro. That's pretty much it until we get to the very end of the 10-day. So not much help on that regard. Still warming even more. We're up near 70 for a high Tuesday. That number could also go up as we get some gusts up around 30 to 35 miles per hour. The record at 75 there. So not quite there yet, but we're starting to get into the territory where we'll be talking about both Monday and Tuesday with record high potential. We do have signs of things starting to try to cool down at the end of the 10-day. That's with these 20% chances for precip that you see, a couple systems that start to roll through. It does look more active as we get toward those last 7 to 10 days of February. So keep that in mind. You're seeing some 40s and 50s for highs. There's a chance that maybe things cool even a little bit more, and we get some more precip chances. But at least for the next week or so, it looks very warm through that whole time frame. So once again, there's the full view of that 10-day forecast. Oop, that's not what I wanted to show you. Let me go back here. There's the full day, the full view of the 10-day forecast. Lots of 50s, some 60s in there from Saturday through Tuesday, and then notice the nighttime temps. This morning was the coolest that we have through the entire forecast. We started today low 20s, and we have a lot of 30s, even one morning that starts in the 40s in that stretch. So staying very mild throughout the 10-day. Enjoy while it's here. We'll likely still see a stretch where we end up getting more winter-like weather as we get toward those last days of February into early March. There's a chance that that takes place. And if you remember last year, we had about a 7 to 10-day stretch where we went deep into winter mode. That actually started on this day last year, February 11th. So that was where we started to see temperatures cool off. We got some snow that made its way through. We had about a 7 to 8 day stretch where we picked up 9 inches of snow from 3 different systems. So it got busy and it happened quick. It moved out quick. That's the sort of thing that could happen. So we'll watch for that as we get deeper toward the end of February and early March and see if that kind of thing takes place for us. I hope you enjoy the warm weather while it's here. I think we'll wrap up this stream. I will be live at the top of the hour on First Alert 6 streaming. Make sure you go to our streaming app and tune in for our midday newscast. Same thing for our 3 p.m. That will be a streaming exclusive with the Olympics taking place. So we'll see you there. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for joining me.